Board of Park Commissioners regular board meeting for the date of Wednesday, October 10th, 2018 is now in session. Let the record reflect that we did have an executive session in accordance with the authorization of under Indiana Code Section 5-14-1.5-6.1 Section B, and that no other items were discussed other than those that were listed on the agenda. Roll call.
Commissioner Tommy Williams.
Here.
Commissioner Juanita Jackson. Commissioner Renee Patterson.
Present.
Commissioner President Gardner.
Here. We'll now have our Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would address your attention to the minutes for the date of September 16th and entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Tommy Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner Juanita Jackson.
Yes.
Commissioner Renee Patterson.
Yes.
Commissioner President Gardner.
Yes. I would address your attention to the approval of claims listed for the date of October 10th.
I make a motion we approve the claims for October 10th.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Tommy Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner Juanita Jackson. Yes. Commissioner Renee Patterson.
Yes.
Commissioner President Gardner.
I would address your attention to the payroll for the pay period endings of 9/15/18 and 9/29/18.
Was there any overtime on the payroll, Mr. George?
No, Commissioner Williams, no overtime on this.
I make a motion to approve the payroll as presented.
Roll call.
Commissioner Tommy Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner Juanita Jackson. Yes. Commissioner Renee Patterson.
Yes.
Commissioner President Gardner.
Yes. Bids, proposals, quotes, and contracts.
We are none today before the board, please.
Under, well, I'll say that for unfinished business. Administrative reports.
All right, Ms. Commissioner Jackson is doing the reports for Marquette Pavilion. Commissioner.
Good morning.
I'm the interim executive director, Commissioner Jackson for Marquette Park Pavilion, and I just have a couple points that I want to bring up. So it was ran by the superintendent that we are asking the board for permission to run the $500 event special from October the 15th, 2018 until December the 31st, 2018. This special allows us to attract smaller holiday, birthday, and business events during the off-season, which we're in now. It has been proven to be successful in the past 3 years after running the special, and this is for the formal lounge space. MP
And those date to run the special is from October
15
through,
December 31st, 2018.
okay,
So from next week until the end of the year.
through December 31st.
Yes,
Of this year, and you don't want a special that long, right?
yes.
Are there any comments from board members?
This is something you've done.
For the last
It's like the
3
second or
years.
third year you've done
Yes.
that?
This is year 3.
Yes, yes, because it's a rate change.
Right. Then I'll entertain a motion that we would approve the rate change for the fall specials from October 15th through December 31st.
I make a motion we approve it.
Roll call?
Commissioner Tommy Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner Juanita Jackson.
Yes.
Commissioner Renee Patterson.
Yes.
Commissioner President Gardner.
Yes.
MPP is also asking the board to waive the fee for the Miller Citizens Corporation for their yearly prom, which is scheduled for Saturday, September the 9th, 2019. This is in return for the voluntary hours and monetary donations they give throughout the year. And we have waived that fee for the ballroom for the last 2 years. So this will be year 3. And this is just to waive the fee for the use of the ballroom for their prom.
Questions or comments from board members? Is there a motion?
I make a motion, we waive the fee for Miller Citizens Corporations so that they can schedule their yearly ball or prom for Saturday, February 9th, 2019.
Roll call?
Commissioner Tommy Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner Juanita Jackson.
Yes.
Commissioner Renee Patterson. And
Yes.
Commissioner President Gardner.
Yes.
The entire MPP staff and Fuse Catering team are excited to bring 2 new signature events to the facility. First Fridays are big in Miller, so we will be joining the fun. Every first Friday starting November 2018 until April 2019, we will have a after-work relax from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. with a small buffet including Chef's Famous Fried Chicken fish for $10 and Southern Sunday Buffet every second Sunday with food for the soul for $20. And you get $3 off if you are a Miller resident from November 2018 until April 2019. And we are just excited to have those 2 new events, and we did bring samples of the fish for you all to take with you at the end of the day, and we do have it in the back room.
Or you can't serve it now.
Thank
You can serve it now. We have hot sauce for you all as well. Just trying to get you to come out and join us.
Okay, great.
That's all I
Are you asking board action on the last item that you mentioned?
have. No, I am not.
Okay,
Just making you aware of what we're doing.
okay.
Okay.
That's
Thank you.
Something separate, or is this?
Yeah, it's not.
I think she's not,
Oh, this is the,
This, yeah,
this is the
that's-
second one we did, right?
That's the second one.
Okay. Okay. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Dr. Kathleen Smith.
Greetings, everyone, Board Superintendent.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. If you would refer to, the first talking point will be the updated 2018 balance sheet. Does everyone have a copy of it? Thank you, Ms. Dowling. So as of year-to-date for our revenue, we've actually brought in $126,368.33. We have our total expenses as $121,120.22, and we have a surplus of $5,248.11. We're actually under about 29%. A lot of that is probably contributed to the season that we're in, the weather. It's very nice outside, so a lot of our members and those that do purchase day passes as opposed to using the indoor track, a lot of people are exercising outdoors as opposed to utilizing the tennis courts on the indoors. They're utilizing tennis courts on the outside. So we are very optimistic that once we enter a different season, we're in fall, we're approaching winter, most people they'll gravitate more back to indoors. So the negative 29% is more than likely probably contributed to weather factors. Okay. Updated renovations update, the front entrance has officially begun as of yesterday. We do have signs posted asking all members to use the actual north entrance. So Powers and Sons have actually started that job in the front entrance, and that's going to commence, I believe, all the way through February 2019. Is that correct, Superintendent?
Right.
Yes. Our events at the Hudson Campbell, Ms. Kelly Baxter from the Gary Commission for Women, she has come over and she's given us a lot of literature. This is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and so we have a series of events that are going to be held at the Hudson Campbell here at our facility, and I have a schedule of the events for you all as well. This has been forwarded to us from Ms. Kelly Baxter for Commission for Women. The very first event is going to be held October 11th, so that will be this Thursday. They're going to be hosting a budgeting class. All of the events that they have scheduled, I've confirmed it is free to the public. So the budgeting class will be held here Thursday, and that's from 6 to 8 p.m., and they've asked if they can utilize our boardroom for that. October 23rd, which is on a Tuesday, they are hosting a self-esteem workshop that would also be hosted in our boardroom from 6 to 9 p.m. October 24th, which is a Wednesday, there will be a Health Day dance hosted by Mr. Herman, and they're going to utilize our racquetball room downstairs, one of the dance rooms for that. That will be for an hour from 7 to 8 p.m. October 25th, there will be makeup artists, hairstylists on a Thursday, and that is going to be at 6 p.m. And October 26th, which is on a Friday, that's a continuation of Reclaiming Your Fine, which is their theme, and that event is going to start at 6 p.m. We do have several flyers that Ms. Baxter has submitted and left for us in the front lobby area if anyone else is interested, because they have some other events going on as well that are outside of the Hudson Campbell, so they have a lot of wonderful activities that they are going to be hosting for the month of October. The Health and Wellness Fair, as an update, has been confirmed. The Hudson and Campbell, we will present there on October 17th, which is next Wednesday, from 11 a.m. to 4. We will have a table set up so that we can market our services there. It will be located at the Maintenance and Dispatch location at 2101 West 35th Avenue in Gary, of course. And so that event, again, will be from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. So I will be there physically to present for Hudson Campbell. There will be flu shots available. I also have a flyer here, and we also have flyers in the front. This is hosted by the Gary Public Transportation Corporation. And so there will be flu shots at no charge that will be hosted by 219 Health. Ivy Tech will be providing healthcare screenings. Of course, there will be representation, myself from Hudson Campbell, Gary Community Health. They will be hosting from Methodist hospitals. And so there will be a lot of benefit information as well. Again, that is for October 17th, this coming Wednesday. We've also submitted, or we're in the process of submitting, our MindBody application. MindBody is the new system that we have here for our new members. We're in the process of converting over from the old system to the new, so we're toggling back and forth. But I have forwarded a physical copy of the application to Ms. Angie in Finance. It's the MindBody application to start receiving electronic payments. And so Superintendent and Angie, they have had conversation about that, so we're really looking forward to getting that process started so that we can start receiving electronic payments. And that's all I have.
Okay. Any questions?
I had a question about the front entrance renovation.
Yes.
Now, as part of that renovation, can you kind of do you have any details about exactly what they're doing as far as the renovation? Did you want to go into that, or?
Yeah, no, we can explain. So right now, they're taking the concrete out of the very front steps. I guess they would face west. So they dug that out. They dug out part of the planters as well. Sandy O'Brien was instrumental in removing the plants for us and putting them in a safer place so they could survive. But they're going to construct additional columns. There's going to be a canopy that extends from the curtain wall. So everything, that glass that you see out there now is going to be replaced. It's going to be taken out. The hole that everybody always asks me about and laments about is going to be replaced. It's gonna be a curtain wall, full glass, and then there's a canopy that extends from the front doors. I think is it 40 feet? I think it's 40 feet wide. I don't remember how far out it goes. But that's going to be in its place. There are also going to be additional doors. The doors that are there now are going to be replaced as well. And so now, let me add this as well. We still are, and hopefully we'll be able to do this, get the painting, the power washing and the painting of the external part of the building. They've been going through bids. They bid the work out. The original bid they received, which was fine, but then that person came back and submitted a change order for almost the same amount for the bid that they proposed. And so they scrapped everything, went back to the drawing board, and sought bids out. Actually, a couple of weeks ago, they had somebody came out, tested the paint to see how it would stick to the building. And so hopefully we can get that process moving before the weather changes, because there has to be a certain weather threshold in order for that process to be done correctly. If everything goes according to plan, the front entrance minus the canopy is supposed to be done by February. The canopy part is going to take a little bit longer time because there's some steel fabrication that has to be done, and so they anticipate that date, worst case scenario, May of 2019.
Will the canopy actually have an etched in it Hudson Campbell Fitness Center, or will it just be a blanket canopy?
I haven't seen anything with anything etched into it. That's a good question. The renderings I've seen haven't had any kind of writing or anything in it. Hudson Campbell is supposed to be displayed on I guess that would be the southern wall that faces, that you can see from the parking lot. It's supposed to say Hudson Campbell Sports and Fitness Center. It's not painted on, it's kind of decals, but they have to actually power wash and paint the building first before they put those.
As far as the doors, is it gonna be automatic sliding doors when you open or enter, or is it gonna still be the kind of doors that you have to physically open and, okay?
Still have to physically open.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
I was just curious, so I wanted
No
to
problem.
get a little bit more detail. Getting back to the financials, I noticed you said you're tracking 29%. Is that just for September, or year to date? Would you say you're negative 29%?
No, that was just for the month of September.
That was just for the month of September, so, because you do have a surplus.
Yes.
So, okay, so you're expecting and anticipating, because I know you're your own revenue stream,
Yes.
that you'll actually finish in the positive.
Yes, that's the goal.
That's the goal.
That's the
Yeah.
ultimate goal.
And then
Yes.
these next 3 months are crucial in that process, because usually that's when people start coming back inside and the revenue increases. I think probably, just to put things in perspective, maybe the best month during my tenure that I had, we probably got close to 140,000.
Okay.
And so, I know at this point we've crossed 130, and we still got 2.5 months to go. So, I'm real confident that we'll be able to surpass that number that I was able to achieve. We hadn't realized a number in that range in more than 10 years. So, we are trending positively. It's just, the things that Dr. Smith pointed out didn't lead to a good month for us, but as you can see, the other months for us have been through the roof for the most part.
Okay, very good. As you trend upward, can we just next year, can we start to put in place some kind of, I guess for lack of a better term, some dreams or wishes as to what we want to do moving forward? Because you're gonna have a surplus. So as we trend up, maybe a year or two, let's start looking at some options.
Yeah, we're actually gonna work on so when I started, we worked on a 5-year plan, myself and one of the prior superintendents, and that 5-year plan has expired as of this year. And so now it's time for Dr. Smith and I to do another 5-year plan. So that would be part of the plan.
I'll look forward to seeing those. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
You know what, there may be one thing in Dr. Smith's report that may need your approval. So the Commission for Women's usage of the facility, you know, usually we would charge for that. Obviously, for something like this, that is talking about domestic violence, something that affects every community, our community as well. But they are using the racquetball room on a couple of occasions and the boardroom on a couple of occasions. And so, you know, I think it might be appropriate to get some kind of approval from the board to waive their fees for those events. I don't know if it's necessary or not.
I make a motion that we approve the Commission for Women to conduct their domestic awareness events at Hudson Campbell. Complimentary.
Second.
Pro bono.
Roll call?
Commissioner Tommy Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Juanita Jackson?
Yes.
Commissioner Renee Patterson? And Commissioner President Dwight Gardner.
Yes. Thank you.
Don from Gleason Golf Course.
Morning.
Morning.
Well, as Hudson Campbell is gonna pick up the golf course with the weather tomorrow supposed to be 50 for the high, this is when our season starts. Pretty much we're buttoning up for the winter time. What we are gonna focus on, we started this morning, we were gonna once and for all finish the fence line. We started on 35th today. We're gonna trim all the way around before the end of the year, hopefully. I've been talking with Superintendent George about a chemical that we use to, when you trim the trees, they're basically sucker trees, they're not real trees. When you cut them away from the fence, they grow back within 3 or 4 months' time. We have a chemical that the forestry department uses, but we are trying to find it for a significantly decreased cost than what we were given the estimate for that product is. But other than that, the golf course, when it's, the highs are supposed to be in the 50s and the lows in the 30s, the grass will start going dormant. So there's not as much need for mowing starting, probably in the next week or so. And so we are gonna just try and get that fence line fixed. There's quite a few holes in the fence that we can repair, that we wanna repair once all the brush is removed from, it grows in between them and it makes it tough to put the fence back together because all that growth in that. So that's basically what we're gonna be doing, try and do for the months for October and November.
Okay, any questions? Thank you.
All right, Christine Clarkson, Director.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I submitted the checklist of what has been completed and what still needs to be completed. We're aiming for the end of October to have everything completed with all the blowouts. We took the motors out. They are already being serviced at Preston. Right now, I'm working on inventory to see what parts and stuff we still have. I took Superintendent George over to where they store everything at. So we're just going through what we have and what we still need. Last week, I met with the principal at Westside. He agreed to have American Red Cross come up and check the pool out to see what's wrong and if it's something that they can fix, if it's not too costly. So we're moving forward on that. And that's the end of my report.
Let me thank you. You did an excellent job. At our last meeting when we had this discussion, I put a lot of pressure on you, told you what I wanted done, a timeline, a checklist, and you came back today with everything that I asked for. And so this was good work. You have a list of things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 8 things that have already been completed and roughly 10 things that you plan on getting done by the end of the month, which will then literally would have put our pools to sleep in a proper fashion, have them ready to go for next year. Thank you. This is well done.
had a question, Christine. Now, that pool at West Side.
Yes.
This is West Side, right?
Yes.
You're gonna get that one up and running for next year.
Right, because
Okay,
right now we
great.
do a lot of our training, we do it at the Y, but then we have to go outside of the city. So, and we're trying to start training year round, so we can start getting our kids.
Great.
Since we want to get them from inside the city to be
Okay.
lifeguards.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
no, we don't have any jurisdiction over
West Side,
School.
right.
This is a kind of a collaborative effort. The
Okay.
end result would be to be able to provide swimming
Yes.
for young people in the city of Gary and produce our own lifeguards.
Yes.
So
Great, great,
we're gonna try and work together to make that happen.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Kayana, Youth Services Bureau.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Very brief for us today. We have hired a person for our after-school program. We do still have one opening, position available, but we have hired a person, so we are moving forward and opening our after-school programming in Steel City. It should be open in November, so we should start operating, first week in November, we should start operating now that we have that person on board. We are in the process of doing, last year we did a environmental conference for youth when they were out of school. We did it in January of last year, so during that time when they were out of school. This year we're moving forward to do it a little bit bigger and combine with another city to actually host it here. Our program assistant as well as the Vista for Green Urbanism are working on that together. We just received the okay today from the climate change, cannot remember their name, Indiana Climate Change, that they are on board with that. So we do have their support, and it's very exciting. We have a lot of youth that are really into the climate, and so we want to provide that for them while they're out of school, so it's not taking anything away from them during their actual school day. We also are moving forward with our Cities Connecting Children to Nature Technical Assistance Grant. We have to have our implementation in place, our plan of implementation, in place by the end of November. We just came from an amazing packed conference where we were training from 8 a.m. to almost 8 p.m. for 3 days. I mean, it was constantly go, 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 go. We met some good people from different cities that kind of are in the same situation that we are, so we were able to connect, do a lot of connections and follow-ups with those things. So we are very excited about what we want to present. Our biggest thing, I think, and I'm just going to throw it out there, is our children outdoor Bill of Rights. And that is going to be real big for the Parks Department, for the youth services, and for most of the youth that are in the city of Gary. We want to do a Bill of Rights for our youth. There is one through the through the state of Indiana, but it really doesn't correlate to the youth that live up north. It's more of southern Indiana, and that's something that we're learning. A lot of things that are happening, a lot of policies are for the south and not really for this northern region. So we're going to adopt one in accordance with the one that the state of Indiana already has, and we're very excited about that. Also, we are looking for members for our Gary Youth Council. We did have several that graduated, so we do have some vacancies. You can call Youth Services, 881-5270, or email me, kdelosa@ci.gary.in.us for an application, and we can explain more to you then. We also are, this Saturday is our National Day of Action through AIM. So all youth councils across the state of Indiana will be doing a day of action. We have chosen to do our action at the Rainbow Ark Shelter. So we will do mulch, we will clean up their basement, clean up their pantries, we'll be moving items from the basement. So because this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we thought this would be a very fitting time to give our services. So we're very excited about that. That will be this Saturday from 8 to 1 at the Rainbow Ark Shelter. The last and final thing is we are looking for donations of candy for the trunk or treat that will be here on the 31st. So youth services will take part in that. We'll have our band all decked out. So we are looking for donations for candy. If there are any youth who would like to volunteer, please contact either my office or you can contact the Office of Constituent Services. And also if there are vendors that would like to participate in that, you can contact the Office of Constituent Services. And that is, I don't know. Constituent Services, I don't know, but Youth Services, 881-5270. And I think that is, and we will be getting our additional $6,000 for our youth and resident engagement. So we will be getting that, we should be getting that within the next couple of weeks to put on our engagements. And we're not gonna do a big thing after going to our conference. I realize it doesn't have to be like this grandiose thing, but it does have to be something that encompasses as many residents in our city as possible to see what it is that they really want us to do in regards to connecting children with nature. So that is all that I have.
Any questions? Thank you. Superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. At the last meeting, brought up Hatcher Park and Hatcher Park's pool and Hatcher Park's pavilion, and talked about the need to not only remove the pool as it exists because it accumulates water, and we wanted to prevent any kind of tragic incident from occurring, but also we had an offer to demolish the building as it currently exists, and it's quite honestly devastating state. And so it was the opinion of Commissioner Williams that we put out the information to the community to see if anybody had any plans or wanted to invest any time or money into the facility before ultimately before the body decided one way or the other to do something with it. We did receive a phone call from someone in the local community who wanted to be on the agenda to discuss the future of the pavilion, but Ms. Dolly received a phone call from her yesterday, and she indicated that she did not want to speak in regards to the future of the pavilion. So, at this time, I'm recommending the same thing I did 2 weeks ago. We were already given permission, authorization to remove the pool and to fill it in, and so, it's my recommendation and that we now demolish the Hatcher Park Pavilion as it currently exists.
There a motion?
I make a motion, we demolish the pavilion along with the pool.
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Tommy Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Juanita Jackson?
Yes.
Commissioner Renee Patterson?
Yes.
And Commissioner President Dwight Gardner.
Yes.
Thank you. We are going to postpone the Hudson County retail space after you all deliberated, so I'll take that off my agenda. But I'll add, just to add a little bit about what Kayana talked about with the CCCN conference that we attended in Chicago. Quite honestly, sometimes you go to conferences and sometimes you lament going. You don't want to deal with the travel and just the meal. It just, for me, sometimes it's too much, but we really did get a lot of good information from the conference. We are cohorts along with Baltimore and St. Louis, right? And so it was really good to sit with them, pick their brains, hear what their challenges are, and then also to realize that our challenges aren't too much different from their challenges. The one thing that I take from that experience, well, there were a couple of things. One is we probably need to start looking at our parks more as learning centers, and more as learning centers for infants and toddlers. Because people were talking about that, and as I'm thinking about it, you think swings and playground equipment, and that's good for like 5 and 6 year olds. But if you're 2 and 3 year old, I don't want my 2 and 3 year old on certain playground structures. It's just not suitable for them. So that's one of the things that I took away. The other thing is equity. One of the words that word comes up a lot in a lot of grant applications that I've completed. They talk a lot about equity, but they talk about it from a racial standpoint. And for us, that's not an issue because we're 80% over 80% African American community. But the one thing I do take a look at when we talk about equity is the income or the economic equity that exists in certain communities. And so, it's my charge to make sure that every community has access to a park, no matter what the economic status of their residents are, whether they're well above the poverty line or below the poverty line. I think that we need to make sure, now it's not, I know we need to make sure that everybody has equal access to quality parks, regardless of what their income levels are. So it was really good to hear that, because some of the communities were struggling with the equity issue. And it was interesting that we don't really have that from a racial standpoint. But from an economic standpoint, I do say we do have that, and that's something that we need to improve. Wanted to give you all an update on the Hal Park. The bid announcement has gone out. It was that last Friday?
It went out on Wednesday and was published Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday in
Okay.
the Times.
So, anybody who is interested can go to Public Works to receive, they're not giving out packets, they are giving out disc, CD-ROMs.
Correct.
Yeah, CD-ROMs. Do they even still call them CD-ROMs? DVDs, DVRs, whatever. They're giving discs. I just dated myself. So they're giving those out. So anybody who's interested, please go to Public Works to get those. I think, when is the last day to receive those? It's 10 days after the first bid announcement was sent out, right?
It will end the next board meeting, according to the advertisement. It will end on I forgot what the next one, 14 days, it would be 10/24.
Okay. So, anybody who is seeking to play a role in the reconstruction of the pavilion, and then consequently not the splash pad, the basketball court, the fill-in of the pool, and the playground equipment, go to Public Works, get the information from them in order to do so.
And this Friday, there was the walkthrough at Hal Park.
Right. There was a walkthrough at Hal Park. It said 11?
10.
10.
It's early.
Thank you. It's at 10 o'clock at Hal Park. So anybody who's interested in bidding on the work, Hal Park is at 39
3900 Vermont.
Vermont. I'm drawing blanks today. All right, but this year is different this time is different from what we did earlier this year. Instead of trying to do all of the work at one time, we've broken out the work in the kind of sections. So the pavilion work will start to take place early, because that's not as dependent on weather as the external work is. And so that's something that hopefully will get started really soon. We're looking forward to that. There was some refund requests that we have. At this time, I am recommending a $25 refund for Danya Smith from the Hudson Campbell, $180 refund for Richard Forney, and a $100 refund for Vanessa Starks.
I'll entertain a motion that we would approve those refunds.
So moved.
Roll call.
Commissioner Tommy Williams, Commissioner Juanita Jackson, Commissioner Renee Patterson,
Yes.
Commissioner President Dwight Gardner.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And the last thing is the 2019 budget. I think all of you are well aware of the challenges that the city is facing as it relates to the current financial conditions. The budget that was submitted did not change from this year. The only thing, from a financial standpoint, it didn't change. The only thing that's different is the ticket takers who were under the budget Fund 250, which is the Parks Department, will be moved to the Marquette Fund, which is Fund 216, because that's where they generate the revenue, and the revenue goes to Fund 216. So that was the only difference that we made as it relates to to the budget this year. In the current economic or financial climate that we're in, you know, we don't have much room to do anything different, unfortunately.
Any comments or questions from board members? Public comment?
None.
Then I will entertain a motion that our meeting be adjourned.
So moved.
Address on the